now, Mr. Bigler. Did you want to see me?
Yeah, you know something. You guys give a whole new meaning to the word slow. I bring my car in here for a simple tune-up. Takes you almost 2 hours.
Well, Mr. Bigler, we've been a little backed up today, but we've got...
Oh, no. Save the excuses for somebody else, all right? Just give me my keys. I'm in a hurry.
Sorry, sir.
Idiots. Never come back here again. It'll be too soon.
You know, that's what I call an angry customer. Now, up until just a few days ago, I never thought much about dealing with difficult customers. I'm just your average consumer. But last week, I saw a couple of things that started me to thinking. Let me tell you about them, okay? The first thing I saw was over at my bank. I ended up behind a woman who was really unloading on the woman at the window.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Ames, but the computer does not show a deposit.
I don't care what the computer says. I'm telling you, my husband deposited those checks 3 days ago. I've even got a receipt to prove it. Why are you having such a hard time getting it through that thick skull of yours? The money's in my account, period. Are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, because I'm only going to say this one more time. I didn't bounce those checks. I've never bounced a check in my life. Now, I want you to take these service charges off my account, and I'm not moving from this spot until you do.
The second situation that got me thinking happened at the courtesy counter of a store near my home.
Hi, may I help you?
Yeah, you ran this ad in the paper last week on VCRs you had on sale. Well, my son's birthday was coming up, and I called ahead and asked you to put one aside for him.
Yeah?
Well, I was just over at the electronics department to pick one up, and the salesperson looked at me like I was from Venus, and then she said you were all sold out.
Yes, I'm afraid we are.
Well, I'm afraid you've got big problems, honey. Now, tomorrow is my son's birthday, and I promised him that VCR. I need it, and I need it now.
Two very angry customers. And now, after seeing what just happened here, you know what I think? I think that if your job involves dealing with the public, either face-to-face or on the telephone, angry customers are a fact of life, and you better be prepared to handle them. Now, like I said, I'm no expert when it comes to customer service, but, well, I am a consumer, and I know how I'd like to be treated if I was angry. I started thinking about it as I watched what was happening at the bank. The customer just kept getting madder and madder, and I couldn't figure out why. Then it hit me. I realized that there wasn't just one customer standing there. There were really two, and both expected to be satisfied. One was a customer who was angry. To satisfy her, you've got to deal with her feelings.
Now, you're making me feel like a criminal. I don't care what the computer says. I've never bounced a check in my life.
The other is a customer with a specific problem that needed to be solved.
I'd like you to take these service charges off my account, please.
Do me a favor. Use your imagination, will you? Pretend you're the customer and I'm the person waiting on you or handling your phone call. Now, there are two things broken here. First, the relationship. Second, the product or service. So which one do I deal with first? Your problem or your feelings? Well, I don't know about you, but if I was angry and I was standing there, you'd have to deal with my feelings first. You see, until I could blow off some steam and cool down, there is no way you could fix my problem. Ever try to reason with someone whose emotional level is high? It's not easy. So how do you deal with an angry customer's feelings? The first thing I'd want is for someone to show understanding. The way I see it, this is probably one of the most important steps in dealing with a customer's anger. It helps you begin the process of neutralizing and diffusing the customer's strong feelings. And to show understanding, I think you should be a good listener. Listening shows you care. Make sure everything about you, your tone of voice, words, and body language all say, I really care. I'm interested, and I'm here to help. Encourage the customer to talk and blow off steam. Sometimes it helps if you ask questions, ones that can't be answered in a couple of words. A friend of mine who's a salesman calls them open-ended questions. They're questions like,
Will you tell me how you first became aware that there was a problem? Will you tell me exactly what happened then? Can you tell me more about why you feel the problem may be in our computer? Please give me more information about what happened after you called bookkeeping.
So, ask questions to encourage the angry customer to talk. It's especially important if you're dealing with someone like me. Instead of showing our emotions when we're angry, we keep them hidden. But if you look carefully, the signs are there. Crossed arms, a clenched jaw, or the impatient tapping of a foot. We look cool on the outside, but believe me, we're hot on the inside. Be on the lookout for hidden anger. If you spot it, encourage the customer to talk. I heard somewhere once that if you get an angry customer to talk to get the problem out, you will probably get their business again, despite the problem. So whether the customer's anger is hidden or active, ask questions and let them talk.
And let me tell you something else. What I really resent is being treated like some stranger who just walked in off the street. You know me, and you know I've been banking here a long time, right?
Yes, Mrs. Ames, I do.
Then why are you making such a federal case out of this? It's all so ridiculous. But I know it's not your fault.
When you sense that the customer is beginning to calm down, I'd start to ask what my salesman friend calls closed-ended questions. Closed-ended questions can be answered briefly.
Now, could you tell me where and when your husband made the deposit? Have either you or your husband ever had any difficulties in the past with one of the teller terminals? Did your husband put more than 5 items in the envelope when he made the deposit?
Closed-ended questions can allow you to slowly begin changing the conversation from talk of feelings to a discussion of the facts.
Well, then what about this receipt that I got from the machine? It shows my account was credited.
Yes, you are right. But at the bottom of the slip, it also says, deposits or payments accepted, subject to verification.
Has that always been there?
Yes, it has. I'm sorry.
I see. I never paid much attention to that before. Guess I should have, huh?
When you show you care and understand by asking questions and begin dealing with facts instead of feelings, you can bring the level of emotion from way up here down to here. Okay. Now, the customer seems to be cooling off. What do you think she should do next? Well, I think the next thing I'd want someone to do is to give feedback. Show the customer you care as much about the problem as they do.
Mrs. Ames, I'm really sorry about all this.
Well, it's just so frustrating, and now I've wasted most of the morning.
Considering what you've been through, I don't blame you for feeling frustrated. You've got better things to do than spend your morning trying to straighten this out.
And finally, summarize the problem. By repeating to the customer in your own words what you see the problem to be, you show you've listened.
Okay, Mrs. Ames, let me make sure I've got everything. Your husband deposited some checks in your account 3 days ago at a terminal downtown, and it's possible that he put more than 5 items.
Okay, see if you agree. Show you care by showing understanding, asking questions, giving feedback, and summarizing the problem. Oh, and one more thing. If an angry customer starts to really make a scene, I take them somewhere private, away from other customers.
Mr. Davis, why don't we step over here so we can discuss the situation, all right?
All right.
Okay, come on.
Now, you've dealt with the customer's feelings. And now you're ready to solve the customer's specific problem. The way I see it, if your goal is to satisfy the customer, the first